Hello everybody, it's Fufu here, and a really quick one today. What I'm going to be looking at is Z-Lunar Dance and by extension Z Healing Wish. They're very similar moves. What they do is they cause your Pokemon to faint, and then the next Pokemon that you bring in, they're fully healed, cured of status and everything. I want to know what the Z power adds. So most status moves, your Pokemon might get a stat boost, for example, or any negative stats might be, negative stat modifiers might be removed. So obviously that would be pretty useless in this case because your Pokemon is about to faint to heal another Pokemon, so you don't want that kind of a thing. But what it could do, so what we see in like Z Memento, which is another move where your Pokemon faints and it has the effect of reducing the opponent's stats. And then when you add the Z power, what it does is it actually has the same effect as Healing Wish basically on your Pokemon, so it adds the Healing Wish effect to Memento. So maybe there's going to be an inverse thing of that, but from what I've heard, it's quite disappointing. Anyway, what you saw me do there was just damage my Pokemon because I wanted to see the effect of Healing Wish in action, because Healing, or Lunar Dance in this case, because I'm using Cresselia and Lunar Dance. So my Blossom has been hurt so that I can then Lunar Dance into it and it'll get healed. I want to see maybe there are some extra effects on the Pokemon that you bring in. So let's just go for the Z move here and see what it does. I'll go for the Z move and just keep going for Source Dances here and see what we can do. Obviously Digger's Beast faster because it's an offensive Pokemon. I've invested in its speed more. So let's just go for the Z move here, go for that. Well, it's not a Shattered Psyche, it's a Z Lunar Dance. So it surrounds itself in a Z power, and what does it do? It didn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. So there's the Lunar Dance. I wonder if it will do something for Blossom. Maybe Blossom comes in and gets some stat boost or something, because that would be a really neat thing. Let's see what happens when Blossom comes in. Let's see if there are any beneficial effects of this Z move. So there's the Lunar Dance. Oh, it does the cute little dance after. That's cool. And it gets healed, and I can't see any beneficial effects of using this. So I think it's probably just a very useless Z move. The only way that it's any different from a normal Lunar Dance is that you aren't restricted on when you can use it. So if an opponent has used Taunt, you can still use Z moves. So you'd still be able to use Z Lunar Dance even if your Pokemon has been taunted, or if Lunar Dance has been disabled, although I don't really know how that would happen because you'd have to use it first, and if you've used it, you've fainted. So, but there are some certain circumstances where you would be able to use the Z move when you wouldn't be able to use the normal move. And really, I don't think that that'll come into play unless you've got a Pokemon that you've got the Psychium Z, that got them holding the Psychium Z maybe for an offensive move, but in a really random situation, you might actually want to pull the Z Lunar Dance because you wanted to use Lunar Dance, but you couldn't. That's the only time that I can see it actually having any use at all, which is such a stretch and such a waste of a Z move. And it's like you wouldn't even be using it for that anyway, because you'd be using it for the Shattered Psyche most of the time. So anyway, that was just a quick one to highlight what's potentially the worst Z move in the game. I don't know if it is actually, because some of the offensive ones, when they don't add very much, they would probably count as worst. But if you know of any other Z moves that have like no effect, are completely not helpful, then let me know. But I just thought it would be interesting to highlight that one. But that's going to be all for today, so I hope that you found it interesting. As I say, there is maybe a kind of use for this, but it's not really one to think about. I don't think that Z Lunar Dance or Z Healing Wish are worth any of your time. That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Fufu, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.